Hello guys, welcome back to this new video. Today we will talk about how to deploy your application through the ACM, the Red Hat Openshift Advanced Cluster Management. So through this component, you'll be able to deploy your applications. And this ACM, for those who are already aware about this solution, permit to manage different OpenShift cluster, okay, in your environment. So today, the application that we will be able to deploy is a WordPress application, and we will deploy it through the hot architecture, which means that we will deploy applications and both application will be live or running on both sites. Okay, on the production site and on the DR site, for instance, the application will be up and running on the same site. So customer will be able to have access okay, through a virtual IP, you will be able to have access through this load balancer, which will be able to expose your virtual IP. Customer can have access to application and the work the load balancer can load sharing the flows or the requests on this site 1 or the site 2. Okay, so in our demo, I will use an HAProxy instead of the F5 load balancer. So let me show you how it looks like. Yeah, here is my ACM, which manages both two clusters. And as you can see here, we can deploy ACM through different architecture type. Okay, we can have a tiny OpenShift cluster, like a single node OpenShift cluster, on which you can deploy your ACM software. Okay, so by this way you'll be able to just manage the different cluster. Okay, or we can directly install the ACM software, which means the ACM hub software inside of this production cluster. Okay, this means that we have just to add this second cluster as the managed cluster. Okay, but the danger here is if you lost this cluster, you lost also your ACM software. This is the danger. That way, if you do you implement the ACM in that way. Okay, but anyway, in our case, we are in a lab environment, so we can do it. We have limited resources, so we'll do what we can do with what we have moments. Okay, so now I will deploy your application with whole scenario through the ACM. Let me just first show how it looks like of the ACM interface. Okay, and at the moment we have installed this one over the Red Hat 4.19 versions. Okay, this is at the moment or where I'm recording this video, it is the last version of OpenShift. Okay. Okay, so now let me go on the overview part. You can view the status, the overall, the global view regarding the status of my both clusters. As you can see, my cluster is up and running, and there is nothing bad which is happening. And this proves that he can monitor both the different clusters from one view. Okay, as you can see here, I can monitor my cluster from one view. If we have any alarm or any issues, those things can be raised in my ACM view. Okay. If I want to go to a particular cluster, like this one, local cluster, where this local cluster bit, the cluster where the ACM is installed at the moment. Okay. Okay, so let me just go back here. I want to show you one thing else. Sorry, we have a little bit latency because of network. Okay. So now I'm going here on the governance. in the governance, we can see the different policies. The policies is a component in the ACM which will be govern the deployment of your different resources. We have policies, we have a placement, and we have also the placement binding. Okay, those are the three things that govern the deployment of your application into the different clusters. Okay, the policies govern the deployment, what we have to deploy. Okay, the different resources to deploy. The placement define where to deploy the applications of the resources, and of the placement binding just create the link between the placement and the policy. Okay, so this is the role of the placement, the binding. Okay, so let's move on. I will just go here how to deploy it right now, how to put this one in action at the moment. Let's be for doing so. I will show you my interface of my provisioner of the node that I use to manage my Openshift cluster. It is this one. Let me go back on another architecture. I will put myself here in this node, which will be my administrative node or my management node that I will use to manage my Openshift cluster, okay, which is a provisioner node, okay, but you can use another node if you like. So let's put myself here. So I'm here at the moment. I have two. So here is site 1. Okay, we have 5 nodes, as you can see here. We have 5 nodes. We have 5 nodes at the moment on the site 1, the local one. We have 5 nodes, and we see it's the same thing for the second site also. On the second site also, we have also 5 nodes. Let me show you in console, from a console point of view. Okay, on the second site also, we have 5 nodes also. Okay. So now, what I intend to do, I will go back on the site where I have my ACM deployed. Okay, so I will go back on this production site because it's there where I have installed the ACM. Okay, from this space, I will be able to create policies. I will be able to create placement, and I will be also to define other placement binding. Okay, both things will be deployed or created on the ACM component or on the ACM or hub component. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go there. This point is very critical for your implementation. Okay, so let's go back on the. So right now, I suppose that I'm here. Let me show you something. I suppose that I'm on this ACM, okay, component. I'm inside it because it's where the ACM is installed at the moment, okay. So from there, I will create a new namespace for my applications that I would like to deploy, okay. And it will be inside this namespace I will define with different policies and so on for my deployment. Okay, so now I'm creating inside my, again, very important, inside my ACM hub, I will create my namespace, okay, inside it. And from there, I will create another component or another resource which is called the manage cluster set binding, okay. It's very important to do it at the moment. this one is defined, okay, correctly. I will go to the second step, so is to create what I will call it the replacement, okay, for the both clusters. Okay, I will create now the placement for the both clusters that I have in my environment. You can see I will call it the both cluster placement, the name, just so, and it is be linked to the namespace that I have created. Okay, so depending on the different applications that we have to create, okay, we have to create different namespace for each project, and inside those namespace, for each namespace we have to create policies and different resources that will be linked to those namespaces. Okay, so now this one has been done. Let's go back. Let me show something else. I will now execute this deployment. But before doing so, I will show you, I will explain to you. Just one moment. My computer is a little bit lagging. Okay, here is the policy I intend to create right now. As I told you, policies govern the deployment of the different resources. What do you intend to deploy at the moment? So those what is the different resources, as you can see here. And let me show you. Yeah, okay. So the object template will define the different resources or applications that I will intend to deploy at the moment. It's very important to keep in mind the structure of your policies, okay? So I will create the name of policies, okay, the namespace where these policies will be linked, okay? From there, I will define here in the object, under the object names templates, I will define the kind of objects I intend to deploy. In my case, I will intend to deploy a WordPress applications, which means that we have the backend storage, the backend and the front end, okay? Inside it, I will define all the different characteristics that this WordPress application should have. Okay. When all those characteristics has been defined, okay, I will now go to my placement binding. Okay, we will define which we will be able to link up my placements, okay, and my policies, okay, together. Okay, I told you. So now let me now execute this one. But before execute it, okay, let me show you that for a moment. For a moment, we have my HA, my HA, my HA proxy, and as you can see, for a moment, the application is not yet working. I've done it before because this is why we can see this linked at the moment, okay? Because from the another test, I have kept this linked up here. So let's execute the resource creations. Great. Now this one has been done. We have to go to the next steps and check if the policy have been created and the different resources have been created. Okay, the state is compliant, which means that the deployment has been done successfully, and we have in force. This part is very important. As this application has been deployed from your ACM, okay, even if somebody go to your cluster and suppress or want to scale down or scale up your applications, it won't work because of the main component that govern of the deployment of your this application is from your ACM part. Okay, so even if somebody come here and scale down one pod or some update resources from your deployment in your particular in the cluster, this won't work, because when the ACM will detect any change, automatically it will be able to update it. Very important, this part, to keep this one in mind. Okay, so now let me refresh it. Okay, great. Now the application is right now working. Okay, on the site one, it's up and working, nothing bad. It will go to from the load balancer point of view. My users can have access to this application through this URL, and everything is working very perfectly. Okay, and let me show you the configuration done for the. Okay, let me just show you it. We have this configuration of my HAProxy is able to see the backend storage at the moment, and let me show you the configuration of my HAProxy for this particular deployment. Just show you the configuration done, okay, for this HAProxy, for this hot architecture, okay. So this is the configuration done here. This means that the load balancing of the different workloads can go to the site 1 and the site 2, okay. So let's just get out from there. I go back here, and I will show you the different pods. Okay, the different pod deployer at the moment. You can see also the route exposed from the site 1. Okay, and if I go to the second site or to a remote site, you can see that the application also is up and running there also. Okay. Okay. Definitively, everything works very perfectly, nothing bad. And what if the cluster 1 goes down? What will happen? Okay, what will happen if the cluster 1 goes down? So let's simulate an issue on the cluster 1. Let's simulate an issue. I mean, I'm on the virtual environment. So let me, okay. So I will just shut down, okay, for instance, of the compute 1 and compute 2, okay, or the worker node 1 and 2. Shut destroyer. I will just shut down both. So the worker node on my site 1 are down. Okay, so my production cluster is not working anymore. It is a big issue. So what happened for me? Let's suppose that the management have anticipate these issues, and by deploying the ACM, and the application has been deployed through the ACM in the hot scenario. So if I refresh it, I can see that the production is down, is not working anymore. But of course, the direct link to the productions will not work anymore. Okay, you can see nothing works. It's still yeah, it's not working at all. Okay, but if I'm coming here, okay, user can still have access to the application and they can enjoy it. Nothing bad, everything is okay. And yeah, okay, this is the power of the ACM when application is deployed in the host architecture. But this one have a cost because when you would like to deploy the application in your host architecture, you should have to buy a special license. Okay, you have to buy an advanced license to be able or to be capable to deploy your application up and running on the both cluster. It's have a cost. So be careful if you intend to do those things. Also, you have to take information. And if you would like to, okay, you can send her an email and have much more information, or you can contact another Red Hat partner to get much more information about the working of your ACM. So ACM. Okay. So right now, as you can see, it's my production is down, but the users still have access to their application and everything is okay. Okay. So what happened? Let me do another thing very crazy again. I will also now if my let's suppose that also the version I will destroy also the DR also. Okay. It is don't do it in production, please. It's just for I'm in the lab environment, so I can do this one also. So after done that, see what will happen. Okay, nothing work anymore. Okay, as you can see, and from the HAProxy, from the load balancer part, nothing works. It's normal because the workers node which handle my application, those worker nodes are down. Okay, and of course, if I'm coming here, you see that something very crazy happened. My cluster is not more anymore okay accessible. But this one is from the I can say from the apps access view, you won't be able to have access to your cluster. Okay, because the worker node are just down at the moment. Okay. So now let's just start. I will start the workers node of my site one. Again, I have told you it's because I have installed in my architecture, the ACM have been installed in the production one. This is why after shut down my worker node from on the production 1 and 2, of course on the production, okay, I'm not anymore able to have access to the ACM dashboard. This is the dangerous part if you install your ACM inside of your production also. If this site goes down, you will not have access anymore to your dashboard. Okay. So for the perfect architecture is to install your ACM Harbor on a dedicated node, okay, separated from others node or from others clusters. Okay. So let me bring back to life. Yeah, this one. And the API should be able to work always. Okay, but let me just show you. If you remember, Let me show you. When we deploy your each cluster, we have the API which points to the control plane. Okay, but for the apps accessor, like the console, for instance, those one have a virtual IP which is on the compute node or the worker node. This is why this interface didn't work. Okay, because of the virtual IPs which handle this URL, for instance, are on the workers node. This is why it doesn't work at the moment. Okay, and of course, again, if you want to install or to, you want to have a procedure to install this your OpenShift cluster again, you can just purchase. You have the book still available. Okay, we can just go and download this the book. Okay, the book is still available. We have all the procedure that you can follow to be able or capable to deploy this OpenShift cluster in your environment, definitively. And the link, I will let the link in the description of this video. Okay, great. So now I hope that I've started this one and this one. Normally the application should be yeah. Okay, normally the application should be up and running, as you can see here. If I go back to the dashboard and I say, yeah, great. Okay. Now the production is now up and running. So this was all for this video. I hope that you grab very interesting information, and this video gives you much more insight about the ACM. It is a very great product, interesting product, but it costs a little bit money. So if you intend to deploy also this one in your environment, you have to take care about this part also. But anyway, the customer experience have no price. Okay, there is nothing dangerous from the customer point of view to see a product which is not trustful. Okay, so customer have to trust your products. So for this one, you should see stability and continuous availability of your application from your point of view. And this kind of product gives you this safer environment, okay, for your applications and for your business also. So thank you very much again for those who are capable to see this video till now. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be very happy to help you to have the different response to your questions. And if you are a company or user, someone who would like to deploy this OpenShift in his environment, feel free to send us an email. Okay, we will. It won't be free, of course, but anyway, it's up to you. So thank you very much again, and don't forget to like this video and share it if needed. Bye for now.